Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're good. This little video on my latest track, Power, which is coming out on the 10th of September on Supertunes, which is part of Big Mama's House Records based in Germany. So I'm super excited for that. And rather than just sort of going, hey guys, here's my track, go listen to it, and you're sort of like, oh great, cool, here's the track. I wanted to do a little bit sort of behind the scenes, just sort of show you the project, show you my ideas so that you kind of, well, just have a bit more of an insight into how I made the track, into what the track is. And hopefully, you know, you might pick up a few little tips and tricks and stuff along the way. I'll show you sort of how I've done a few things. So yeah, if that sounds interesting, then stick with me and we'll kind of get into the track. So it all started really with this bass line that I came up with. So I was listening to listening to like East End dubs and some like London underground kind of house stuff, and I really wanted to do a track that had this sort of wavy techno kind of bass line. I wrote it just after I did the Caramello remix with sax mode and banjo, so there are kind of some similarities between the two in a way. And yeah, so it sort of started with this bass line that I came up with here. This one. And basically it's a cool, like wobbly kind of bass sound, sort of techno bass sound, and I just used a diminished chord, so on A flat diminished, and made that sound basically, and that's where it started really. And then I whacked on the drums on the top, which is again it's sort of that syncopated kind of cool funky sort of top line that I like. So you got this. And that was really where it started. So from that point onwards, then the only other two elements really are the sort of house vocals and the piano sound. So I was kind of going, like I said, this sort of wavy techno, garage kind of bass line, but then this house top sort of thing. And then I found I was kind of trying to get that sort of old school rave sort of vibe in it too. And the way I did that is one way is with this piano line here. So basically all that is like a sample piano chord whacked into the sampler here. Let me just see. Yeah, so it's just one. Oh, it's a few notes there, as you can see, and it's across the zones. And it's one chord, and then you can pitch it up and down. Basically like that. So it's that kind of like the Prodigy use it loads. All those kind of like stabby sounds. So that's what I did with that sort of sound. That's like in the breakdowns. It's that kind of gives it the melodic content. And it's working with the percussion, so you've got all this sort of like syncopation going on. And then yeah, as you heard the vocals, then I got again the kind of classic old school 90s rave vocals, which tend to be sort of big, shouty, screaming vocals, that kind of idea. So it's this. Obviously whack some effects on it, some delays and things, give it some space. That was the original audio file, so the sample. And then I kind of further developed that in a couple of ways. The first way is doing a vocal chop here. I'll show you sort of the full version. So you get this. Like that. And it's a similar kind of thing as to like what the piano is in terms of going in the sampler, except I've taken that audio file and I've chopped it up into different bits, and then you can play around with it. You get the idea anyway, yeah? And then I sort of came up with that little lick. And basically did it like that. That's kind of influenced by sort of Fisher, Patrick Topping, those kind of like Ibiza tunes, that sort of tech house, deep house sort of thing, where you get that cool little vocal chop. You know, and it's nicer. It's sort of, everything else is so syncopated, then you get this sort of nice bam. You know, it kind of just makes it that much more punchy. So then in the full sort of swing of it, you get this. So that's that. The other way I manipulated the vocals is using like pitch shift. So in the sampler, is it in the? What am I? Oh yeah, it's not in the sampler actually. Here, it's actually the pitch shift plugin on Logic, and you just shift it all down. So you make sure that the mix is 100%. And as you can see, I've automated it here, so you end up with this. So you get that kind of glitchy sound. It's a cool kind of glitchy sound. And then I also did some stretching as well. So I stretched the audio of this original sample here to get this. And this is what you hear. I mean, if you go and check out all, like the 90s, like Jungle Records, D&B, and even like house stuff as well, the kind of rave culture. One of the easiest manipulations they do is they stretch these vocals out. And then I combine the two elements there. So I stretched it out and do the pitch shift to keep the glitch thing there. Stretching vocals in Logic is really easy if you want to know how. Basically, you find the audio you want, you hit edit, you go to time stretch under there. And then I always do time stretch region length to locators. So the locator is up here when you have the sort of cycle, you know, you can put that up there. So you go, right, I want that little audio file there to be stretched for this much, or, you know, a little bit, you know, however long you want to do it. And you can just play around. It's also very good, it's also useful if you've got maybe like a drum sample or something that's, you know, your project's at 125 but it's 128 and it doesn't have sort of built-in tempo, so it doesn't automatically change to the tempo of your project. You just whack it in and then you do time stretch to the locator, so then it's all in time. And any extra stuff you can whack the flex time on there as well, which is up here. So that's how you do that for vocals, and then and essentially you end up with this sort of tune here. And that's more or less it. And then obviously I can sort of start combining the elements. So you have the vocal chops at the same time, and you add the piano on top of that. And that's sort of just the kind of like overall development of the piece. Obviously, in amongst it, there's a few little sound effects and things like that. You know, I've got little like riser loops as well. And that's more or less how the track came to be. That's more or less how it is now. But yeah, like I say, it sort of started from this whole sort of kind of little bass line thing that I came up with, and then here we are now. Then I sent it off to a load of record labels, and Big Mama's House Records went, yes please. So I'm super excited. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that. I can't wait for you to, you know, whack that in this tune in like your gym playlist. It's definitely like, you know, gives you a bit of a pump. So if you've got the pump going on in the gym, like whack it on your gym playlist. Off we go. You know, and it'd be great, yeah, just sort of hear like what you guys think of it when it comes out. So remember, September the 10th, that's when it comes out. Obviously, I'm going to be like posting it everywhere. I'll be getting in touch with all the usual people about the track. And obviously, when you hear it and you like it, please share it around and that kind of thing. Sharing is caring. Sharing is free and is caring. And it means so much to me, like when you guys do that. So yeah, anyway, I will wrap up there. That's sort of basically the track power. I hope you like what you hear already. and obviously the whole thing will be out in a few weeks' time. But yeah, we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and take care, and I will keep you updated in the next one.